Digital banking has a new kid on the block, and we're gonna talk about it today. Hi everyone, I'm PPE, and this is the Peso Pro episodes where we talk about money management tips and peso tricks. Today, we're gonna talk about TONIK, the newest neo bank in the Philippines, and this is gonna take digital banking to the next level. TONIK is a new addition to the growing slate of different digital banks in the Philippines. While TONIK serves as a fully digital bank similar to the ones we talked about before, TONIK has a few new features that I think will be important to build both the opportunities for Filipinos and also be more aware of different bank products that were actually there even before. TONIK though has turbocharged and digitized these different features, which I think makes it a lot simpler for more Filipinos to be banked. With 70% of the country still not having a bank account at all, TONIK wants to play in this very big white space in the country and try to make digital banking as easier as ever. TONIK is registered as a rural bank with the Bangko Sentral and also enjoys the same PDIC insurance like your traditional banks, which guarantees deposits of up to 500,000 per depositor. Let's talk about a few unique features from TONIK. Number one is they are probably the first fully digital bank that offers a time deposit in the app. Time deposit technically means that you put a certain amount of money, keep it in that time deposit for the period that you chose, and you get interest from it. Time deposits typically return higher than your regular deposits because you make your money sleep or you keep your money in the bank for longer periods of time, which gives the bank more time to invest your money. However, in recent months, time deposits in banks have also gone down. They've also been just returning maybe 1 to 2% per year, which is very bad compared to the inflation that we've been seeing over the last few years. So what TONIK does very interestingly is they actually offer time deposits at much higher rates. The best deal that they have is a 6-month time deposit that offers a 6% per annum rate. What TONIK does really well is they converted these time deposits into high interest yielding bank products. In their app, you can actually choose a variety of different terms from 6 months to 2 years. The 6-month offering is probably the most enticing because they offer until 6% per annum. Yes, you heard me right. 6% per annum on that time deposit. Since the term of this is 6 months, meaning you enjoy half or 50% of the 6%, so that's 3%, less withholding tax of 20%, you will actually gain a net profit of 2.4% on your money by the time the 6-month term ends. You can obviously reinvest the money when the time is up, but it will be subject to prevailing rates at that time. Now, while I don't really expect TONIK to keep up the 6% forever because that's very high, we can probably expect them to keep this at least at a higher level and try to bring all of the other digital banks along with them. Conceptually, TONIK or other digital banks should be able to afford this because they don't have the operating expense being fully digital and not having to pay for branches, people in the branch, and all of the things that are associated with having a vast network of physical branches. Hence, they can actually pass money back to you in higher interest. The second key feature of TONIK is branding their savings account as stash. Stashes are basically, if you think about it, just different deposit accounts in your app. The app allows you to create up to 5 stashes per account, which I think is perfect, especially if you're trying to save for a short to mid-term kind of goal. Think about this as something like maybe saving for a trip that will happen in 6 months or saving for a purchase that will happen within the next year. A lot of those cases, you can't technically invest the money in the stock market because it's very volatile and you may actually lose money when you need it. But putting it here in the stash account actually guarantees you returns, which I think is perfect because you can use the stash methodology so that you can earn higher interest, which as of today is at about 4% per annum. The whole concept of stash is being able to label each stash with a specific goal, which is perfect because in personal finance, all of the knowledge that we're trying to share with you in this video or even in other channels, all of that is head theory and it's really 80% when you put it into action. Now, putting names against your stash and putting the why you're actually putting it there becomes a very, very strong driving force for you to keep putting money so that you build that dream vacation or that dream startup business fund that you've always thought of but never got to. They also introduced a new feature called Group Stash, which technically means that you can invite two other people, so that's a minimum of three in a group stash, for you all to increase the interest rate by about 0.5% per year, which yields to about a 4.5% return for the year as long as you put money into that group stash. TONIK has largely free fees for different kinds of transactions across the board. The only fees you will have to worry about are the fees when you use other services to put money in or get money from TONIK. So you can check their website on fees and limits for you to have the updated list of fees. I'll link that in the description box below. Another feature of TONIK, which I think answers some of the questions from other digital banks, is they actually offer a billing statement every end of the month. This comes in automatically and you can access this via the app. Typically, it comes at early part of the following month. This is something you can use for other transactions, or it can actually just give you a balance or a way to check all the transactions that you've had in your account. This is a good way, especially if you're applying for visas, which typically will require for a bank statement. As of the posting, bank certificates are still not automatic, so I suggest reaching out to TONIK chat support to ask if they can actually provide you with one if you need one. Another feature is that they also give you a virtual debit card at about the same time when you open the account. It will probably take a few minutes or a few hours to replicate, but essentially, almost immediately, you get a virtual debit card that you can use for online payments as long as MasterCard is accepted, which, believe me, is almost anywhere. The virtual card is free, and you can also request for a physical debit card as long as you were able to submit the government ID required and you keep a minimum of 750 pesos in your account. For now, the debit card is free, including shipping. If you lose your card and you would like a replacement, you probably will need to pay a fee. You can all process this via TONIK's chat support. TONIK is still building its ecosystem, and cash in can be done with other partners like any local bank's debit card, or you can also use mobile wallets like GCash, coins.ph, or even direct transfers from your BPI and Union Bank accounts. You can also still do the over-the-counter approach via the M. Louvillier, 7-Eleven outlets, and similar outlets. The full list is in their website. TONIK is a great addition to the growing platforms available to us Filipinos. I highly encourage you to open an account. It takes a few minutes in the app. It doesn't require any maintaining balance or initial deposit, so you can actually just open one and try the features out. I see a lot of people asking, is it safe? Is it easy to cash in money in and out? And while that's all good and you get feedback from other users, I still feel that you testing it out is probably the best way. And the bank is also insured by the PDIC. So testing a few hundreds or maybe even 1,000 pesos in the platform just so you can get a feel of what you want to achieve and what you can do with the app if this actually works for you is gonna be a very good use of your time, because as you learn more, you tend to become a bit more trusting and at peace with the different banks that you deal with. Again, banks should be a way for you to manage money. So if it's gonna be very hard to manage, or if you don't trust the bank at all, then I highly encourage you to learn. But if after that you still don't, find the bank that suits your needs so that you can actually work with that bank for your financial future. A few good ideas that I can think of on TONIK's features is to use their stash account to actually keep your emergency funds in. Now, while they offer 4% right now, I'm not sure if they can continue this for the long haul, but generally, digital banks should offer higher interest rates than traditional banks. So I would go ahead and try it out and put emergency fund money there. It's gonna at least beat inflation, and it's also quite easy to maneuver money in and out. If you have short-term goals like a purchase in the next few months, take advantage of their time deposit of 6 months term because they actually give you 6% per annum. So that yields about a 2.4% return in 6 months. Very, very attractive, especially if you want this in a very short term, very secure asset. Lastly, as a final advice, while these digital banks are popping in and out, and I'm probably thinking there will be a bit more players in the coming years, the most important thing is for you to understand the money that you have and the goals that you have set for yourself. Differences of 0.5 or 1% will not actually matter a lot in the grand scheme of things. And while it can be free money that you can get, I highly encourage you to learn and try to come up with a holistic plan on how to manage your finances and not transfer your money every time there's a 0.25, 0.5% rate difference. All of these will only make sense if you have a very stable amount and a sizable amount for a 0.5% to matter in the end. I would encourage you to find the bank that you're comfortable to work with and that actually meets your needs. Once that is in there, make sure that you focus on your habits and keep building your nest egg and move on. The 4%, the 2.5% that banks will offer on interest rates will always be beaten by sound investments that you can find elsewhere. And so focusing on other sources, especially if you've had your first 4 steps of the 8 pro steps towards financial independence ready, which is linked here, once you have that done, focus on trying to accumulate more and trying to make sure that you understand the cost of your money and find ways to grow it further. Obviously, some of these rates may be promotional in nature. It would be great if they can continue this for the long term. But even if there are fluctuations, just know that once you have a working system, you can figure out how to maneuver your money and try to make decisions based on what's gonna work for you in the long term, and don't keep changing strategy, especially if that strategy only really changes by a small amount. I talk about the other digital banks in the video right here. If you've already opened a TONIK account or if you were one of the Lighthouse users, feel free to comment in the comment section down below if I missed any features of the new bank. If you've had first-hand experience, feel free to comment them as well. I just opened my bank account a few days ago and I'm trying to learn the ropes as well on what TONIK can offer, and I'm excited to learn from you too. If you want to also learn about how to make your money work for you, that other video right there will help a lot. So click on those two right after this, and I hope to see you there.